Hi there, and welcome to Phoenix for part 3 of all of the airlines that Americans love to hate. I actually decided to do all 3 of these in the same day, so I've already been on Spirit and Southwest earlier today. I'm heading on the SkyTrain now to get over to the newly renovated Terminal 3, which completed its $600 million refurbishment in 2020. Frontier genuinely has one of the more interesting stories out there. We're flying to Denver today, their primary hub, which is also a major hub for United. But did you know that Frontier and United are like airline siblings, or cousins, or second removed, or I don't really know the correct terminology for cases like this, but now they are staunch competitors. I'm going to exit the secure area and head outside for a breath of fresh air. So before we head inside and officially get this report going, let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best and some of the not so best airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full-time for the past 4 years. Check out my hundreds of videos, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description to learn more about how I do things. This ultra low cost and comfort trip report begins now. I gotta say, before we even head outside to get back inside, it's so nice in this day and age to see new terminals that are just thoughtfully designed and passenger-friendly. From the expansive and clear security checks, to the integrated artwork, building with local materials, repositioning the gates to take advantage of natural light, this really is a successful renovation. Check-in for Frontier is generally just if you have bags to check in, otherwise you'll use the kiosk or a mobile boarding pass. When you're here though, make sure to check the size of your bag. As we all do, you may be thinking, of course, it fits, it's a regular carry-on. Just do yourself a favor and double check. I'll explain more about that later. Frontier Airlines has actually existed twice. The first time was from 1950 to 1986, and the current airline as we know it today was founded in 1994. The original Frontier, sounds like a low-budget Lifetime TV show, was also based in Denver, and had a livery for some time that was strikingly similar to the old beautiful Iberia livery. By the 80s, the airline wasn't doing so hot, had a few changes in management, and by 1985 was bought by People Express. 1 year later, Continental bought People Express. The brands were all merged together, and Frontier went poof. Let's take a look at what is surely the most disgusting AMEX-related lounge that I've ever seen. This is the AMEX Escape Lounge. The only thing escapist about this is the fact that I wanted to escape it. You may be looking around and thinking, aw, they must be understaffed. Nope. There were 3 staff out front the entire time. The problem was, there was one couple who were tipping $10 per round of drinks or whatever else they brought. And despite the place being busy and just piled with garbage, the staff literally only cared about this couple, choosing to chat with them instead of just doing their jobs. Continental maintained the Denver hub, maybe more of a focus city for them, for some years, but by the early 90s began to wind things down. Enter one former United Airlines pilot and 2 former Frontier staff who decided to resurrect Frontier Airlines to fill the gap. After their refounding, they continued with their major operation in Denver, and things were going well, with slow but steady growth. In 2012, United Airlines, who already had a major hub in Denver, bought Continental Airlines. So now, Frontier Airlines competes with their former self for dominance in Denver. A very specific dynamic that I've never come across before in all of these airline stories that I've dove into. In 2007, Frontier signed an agreement with Republic Airlines to fly Embraers on their behalf, only to go bankrupt the next year and then be bought out by Republic in 2009. From this point on, it was a literal race to the bottom, declaring themselves the true ultra-low-cost carrier out there. Just from my own research, they do seem to fit the bill. In nearly all cases, they undercut Spirit and Southwest, and have been trying to buy Spirit for some years now, as I talked about in my Spirit video. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you can do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps the videos with the algorithm. You could join my YouTube channel memberships to get early access to some posts and access to all of my community photo posts. Or you could check out my Patreon, where I post the most and can help you out with any travel-related questions. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. Possibly the coolest thing about Frontier, and also probably the only cool thing about Frontier, is their livery and slogan. Quote unquote, a whole different animal. Speaking to the type of airline that they are, but also every plane features a different animal. And they, the animals, are the spokespeople for the airline, commonly used in advertising. Mia the dolphin, for example, commonly complains about having to fly to Chicago all the time when she prefers warm weather. It's very kitsch, but it works, and it's a big dose of charm for an airline that otherwise couldn't find charm in the dictionary if they tried. If there was ever an airline that became cheaper than an ultra low-cost carrier, whatever that might look like, it would be Frontier. They even eliminated their call centers entirely in 2023. You heard me correct, there's literally no one to call. That being said, I did have a question about my ticket at one point. I used their online chat system, and I got a real human in 3 minutes, and I had the whole thing solved about 4 minutes after that. So credit where credit is due. About those carry-on bags. You need to pay if you want to take more than just your single personal bag on board. If you do so, you'll have a boarding pass which will explicitly say that. If you pay a bit extra, you'll also be in Zone 1, which will say carry-on, board first on it. There is no way that you'll get on that plane with a carry-on if you don't have one of those boarding passes. But they take it 2 steps further. At the gate, I watched them board the flight before us, and they make every single passenger put their personal item in the sizer. Not their carry-on bag, because if you paid for that, you get to take it on board. But their personal item, the thing that goes under the seat, was sized, every one of them. Didn't fit? That's $99. And you can be sure that they're going to be on the lookout as well, because Frontier gate staff are paid a $10 commission for each carry-on fee or gate check fee they collect. Spirit used to do this as well, but stopped last year. When I boarded, they didn't ask to size my carry-on, but I did need to put my backpack in the personal item bin. Today we'd be riding with Lone Star, the longhorn steer, who is 5 years old. Stepping on board, everything looks pretty normal and standard. Though if you paid for a front row or exit row seat, you get some extra super duper fancy quilted leather pattern in a slightly darker shade of gray. I don't hate my knees, so I had an exit row seat. These are very odd seats. One of the few cases where the tray table is in the armrest for the exit row on an A320 like this. And when I say that these seats are bare bones, I mean they are B to the ARE bones. From the back, it looks like this is the plastic shell that's meant to be padded and then wrapped to be a seat. If you watch my channel a lot, you know I often say that many low-cost carrier seats aren't that bad, and sometimes they're actually pretty comfortable. Sometimes they're actually a little bit more comfortable than their full-service carrier competitors. Not today, not today. In my notes, quote, "The most uncomfortable economy seat that I've ever been in. I've sat on bicycle seats with more padding," unquote. The crew on board had, like, Office Depot vibes. I'm not really sure how to explain this. It's not that the service was bad, though it was not good, but it's almost like hospitality was never part of the equation, was never trained, was never even considered to be part of the Frontier experience. It's just, hello, I'm the human standing here to show you where your seat is, sit down. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised? Thankfully, what we lacked on board in hospitality, we did make up for with sunset beauty. There are some food and drink options available, but it's not a cart service, at least it wasn't on this flight. The crew made an announcement to call them if anyone wanted anything. I think, like, 1 or 2 people in total rang the call bell. I took that as a sign that maybe tonight, maybe just tonight, I don't need to eat another snack box. I was really getting tired of that Gouda spread that finds its way into every airline's menu anyway. Denver's coming up. So it's ultra low cost, and they're not kidding. If you don't pay for the fancy seats, you don't even get the full pigment in your seat fabric. I wouldn't be surprised if they started installing public bus seats in the future, but I digress, because here's the thing. It's a super cheap experience, but they're also super cheap, so can't be mad at that. By the way, you might find it odd that I praise their baggage policy on the scoring sheet. The reason is, low-cost carriers are what they are. I don't mind unbundled fares as long as the pricing is reasonable. In fact, sometimes I prefer it. Their carry-on bag size is reasonable, 35 pounds or 16 kilos. And if you pay for that bag when you're booking, the fee is reasonable as well. Plus, they enforce the policy to ensure that only those who paid get it. There are some airlines out there that allow you to add 2 kilos extra for a fee, or a second carry-on altogether, but it can only be like 5 kilos, etc. Those are not policies that I would be raving about. I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time from Puerto Vallarta. As always, thanks for watching until the end.